Hello, so this is my version of Claptraps that's running on my computer right now. I haven't pushed it to GitHub, but you can kind of see here if I flick over the tabs, ta-da, there is GitHub. If you go to the link I'll provide in the description, you'll be able to get to this page here, and if you click on this, you probably can't see my pointer doing what it's doing, but you might be able to see the highlighting happening here. If you click on this link next to JavaScript version of Claptraps here, you might be able to see this highlighting too. If you click on the link right next to it here, you'll be able to get to an online version of Claptraps, the other version, the older version. Just one thing I've kind of realised on here. If I go here, if I push escape to get to the editor, I haven't documented this at all. You kind of have to either look into the code or figure these things out yourself. But if you push escape, you can get to the editor. If you push backspace, it would normally save. Actually, it's done it. Oh, but it goes back a page as well, because of course that's what backspace does in a browser. And I didn't kind of think of that because the way I've got it set up, it just opens a page from the editor I'm using, and it doesn't have a previous page. So when I push the backspace, it doesn't go back a page. Anyway, so that's an issue with that there. So I might need to change the button for saving and that, or some other system for saving. It's quite easy to have it's quite nice that I've got it. If I go back to my normal version here, to have just the one button which goes into the editor and then comes out of it, so that I can make quick changes and that. There's another thing I was going to mention about it. There's probably a few bugs and whatever, but in this version I've got running on my computer here, I have actually implemented scrolling, and yeah, this frog is making all these gates flicker on and off. And oh, I've got a transporter here. The apples have fallen down. It's fine. Ooh, yeah, and there's a nice little transport effect. Of course, I'm now trapped here. And yeah, that apple in the middle of all the lasers there isn't behaving quite as it should. So yeah, there are a few bugs still in this version, which I will upload once I've not necessarily got rid of all the bugs, or not necessarily given rid of all the ones you see here, but I'm working on trying to do some drag clicking in the editor, because at the moment if you hold the button down it won't actually drag click or make a bunch of copies of it all over the place, so it can't do drag clicking, putting lots down. But I've figured out a way to do it. I've kind of got it working in the console, printing out things to let me know that it's working right, but I haven't actually implemented the actual putting things down into the map yet. So I think once I've done that, I might upload the code, and so there'll be a newer version of Claptraps and to play around with. And here we go. Yeah, this is how it starts off: a bunch of apples to fall down. If I pop Dave just over here, Control puts Dave down at the moment. So here we go. Boop, boop. Oh, of course, yes. You don't want to have an apple on your head, and that, curiously enough, didn't end up with the problem over here. So if I go back to the editor, what I might want to do is just move Dave over one there, so hopefully, yeah, nothing lands on his head. And yeah, this apple, for some reason, just kind of sits there, and I'm not quite sure exactly why it does that. Yeah, there's probably some things that I wanted to mention which I'm forgetting that I wanted to mention, but yeah. One thing, how does everybody feel about the animation of this transporter? It was pointed out to me by somebody that there's a possibility that people who have photosensitive epilepsy could have a little bit of problems with the flashing going on here. So if anybody knows about this kind of thing or whatever, or anybody's a graphic designer, if they could weigh in on that. Also, if you can weigh in on the whoop transport effect, when I quite like it the way it is. Whoop, it's kind of interesting. I don't want to do it too much to annoy people, actually, but yeah, there's a transport effect now, and you can, if you want to watch it over and over again, you can do so. Yeah, it's just yeah, bad idea. Hang on, can I salvage this? Where's the red frog? He got tangled up in the other frogs. No, I must have just somehow landed on him when I died. Sometimes that happens. I'm not quite sure what the best way to do it, because sometimes the way I kind of have it, can I demonstrate this? I can probably demonstrate this. Boop, put that. Oop, no, that went the wrong way. I kind of need to push a... No, I need to be out of here. Let me just go out of here. If I push, say... I'm not going to be able to do it with that, am I? Anyway, if you if you do happen to be able to manage, I can do it like this way. No, I can't do it like that. Anyway, if you land on top of something like, for instance, there, if I landed on top of a smiley that just happened to end up there, then I would be on top of the smiley and it wouldn't delete it because of the way I've programmed it here. You don't automatically delete things you land on top of. Anyway, this is probably getting into much that people don't necessarily want to know about. But anyway, so yeah, there's a few things on the map. W, A, S, and D move the map around. Escape flips between the two modes there. Control puts Dave in different places. Because of yes, this is another thing I want to mention. Because of the way that Firefox works, when you start typing, pushing any of the keys on the screen, like the W, A, S, and D, the newer versions will actually start searching as you start typing, which is really annoying if you want to do things like move a map around with W, A, S, and D. So what I've had to do is go into the settings of Firefox to change around something. It's search when you start typing or something like that. Some setting to that effect, which I've had to turn off because otherwise, I can't do things like this. So if you're trying to run it and you come across that problem in your browser, then there's probably a setting like that which you can sort out. I was thinking that maybe they could set a setting for pushing backspace to go back a page, but that's really probably not a good thing to say, oh, you have to have this setting for my game to play. Obviously, I know that there are there are other games that you can actually not have to turn that setting off, but you can push the keys in the browser and it doesn't capture them in the search box. And so I'm not quite sure what code they're using in the background to do so. If anybody knows, obviously let me know, or go to GitHub, do a pull request or whatever on GitHub. I don't know, I'll be totally terrified of people doing pull requests on my thing, but yeah, it might be a good thing to learn about how all that works. Or just leave a comment or something like that, or whatever, on YouTube, on GitHub, whichever way. And if you know about that. If you don't, then that's fine. You can just enjoy the pretty pictures of all the frogs dancing around and such, like this. But yeah, that's the main thing to say, that this is up. This has been up actually since just after the last video I put up of Claptraps. So this has all been kind of up. I've been like changing a few things around to make it actually work. But it should work now. So if you click on the link, as I said in the thing, you'll be able to play it online, or you can download it or clone it, or do all these other fancy things that you can do with such things as GitHub and such. So yeah, this is as it is at the moment, and yeah, I've just kind of been working on doing the what do you call it? Scrolling, yeah, and a few other things, just to make sure that everything works out nicely. And this ends up not so nicely. Okay, it's got distracted by an apple, but I haven't really got anything. It's going to come this way, isn't it? Cool. Boop. There we go. Yeah, cool. And so, can I get... If I do that, I can come through here. Sorry if you don't like the transport animation. Yeah, it's doing this weird sitting on the edge thing. I don't know quite why it's doing that. But yeah, there's certain ways that I've programmed this to work, and it's possibly not the best way of doing it. I know there's certain things which I've commented in my more recent code, which I haven't uploaded at the moment, but if you just take a quick look at this file, you'll see, yeah, this here. If you know anything about coding, you'll probably kind of be able to identify why this is possibly a bad thing. And then there's all these other global variables here as well, which the way I did it in my other one, I should actually can probably go to that one. I don't know the best, programming practices and things like that. I just kind of do what works, and I realise that having that INJ as a global variable is a horrible, nasty, terrible thing, which I shouldn't do, and yeah, shouldn't happen. What I did in the Python version of it, which I've got up here, is I had this class called GameState, which I put all the global things in that I wanted, then created a global GameState variable, and then kind of that's mostly the only global variables that I did use. That they were all kind of tucked inside this one thing, so it kind of helps keep track of things. And I don't know if this is a good programming practice or not, but to my mind, it works. So that's the main thing. And if people want it to be a bit prettier or whatever, then that's fine. But yeah, I've got these two versions of Claptraps. You probably can't actually see this one that's off the edge of the screen here, but the other one over here is the JavaScript version. But yeah, I'll stop this video now because I think I've talked quite enough about this. So if you go to the webpage which I'll provide, you'll be able to play an online version of Claptraps, and I'll be updating it here and there. And I've also tried to well, I had a quick look at trying to translate the save files from the Python version over to, the map files from the Python version over to this JavaScript version, but it's a little bit tricky because of the way I saved things. If anybody's up for the task of trying to convert these levels, good luck on you. I might try it myself, I might not. The JavaScript version, the Python version might just stand on its own as, those are the Python version levels, and I'll make some new JavaScript levels, and yeah, but for now, since I've been talking quite a bit about this at the moment, I'll just leave it at that. And, oh yeah, also, beam status screen, and various other things. Anyway, yeah, I'll leave it right now. Oh yeah, so probably things are also, sorry about this, I keep saying I'm going, but I'm not going. But since it's not documented in the in a README or anything at the moment, if you push M, you'll be able to set the minimum score with W and S, and they kind of possibly will work a different way around to what you might expect. And you push Enter to do that. Oh yeah, sometimes if you push a button like that and then push Escape, and push Escape then, and then go out, it doesn't cancel the escape in this screen here. Yeah, it can get a bit confusing because of the way I've set up the things to work, because I've had to set it up a particular way because of the way this library that I'm using called P5 actually works. You can't just say draw the screen now. You have to make it go through a draw loop, and once it reaches the end of the draw loop, it'll draw things. So I've had to kind of arrange things in a certain way so that that'll happen, and that kind of, if you don't look into the code, you won't know about it, and it should work mostly okay, but there's some kind of little glitches like this which happen. And if you push N, I believe it is, yeah, there we go, you can push W, A, S and D to change the width and the height of a new level. If you press Enter, it'll make a new blank map of whatever size you specified. If you push Escape, it'll just not do that. So yeah, as I said, this is not documented, and it could be a little bit more user-friendly. But anyway, as I've said plenty of times, I am going to end the video now. So thank you for watching if you watched this far, and I'll see you next time.